everybody, this is Diana from Sweet y Salado, and today we are going to make Colombian tamales. Now in Colombia there's lots of different styles of tamales, and today we're going to make Arriero style tamales, which means that they come from the coffee region of Colombia. They're a bit time consuming to make, but really easy and absolutely delicious. And as always, the link for this recipe is going to be available at the end of the video. The night before making the tamales, we're going to make our marinade and marinate our meat. And to make our marinade, we're going to need some white onion. We're going to put it in a blender. We're also going to add some green onion, garlic, all-purpose seasoning like triguisar or sazon Goya, or this homemade version that I made in the last video. And if you need to check out that video, I'm going to leave you the link at the end of this video. Then we season with salt and pepper. And the last thing we do is add some water. We cover and blend. And now our marinade is ready. To make these tamales, we're going to need 3 different kinds of pork meat. These are country-style ribs. And we're going to cut them into pieces, 1 piece per tamal. And now we put them in a large container. The next kind of pork meat that I'm using is this pork steak. You can use whatever kind of pork meat that you want, but I love this cut because it's really tender when you steam it. And we're going to cut it into pieces, 1 piece per tamal. And now we put all these pieces in a different container. The last kind of pork meat we're going to use is this pork belly, which is where bacon comes from. And in Colombia, we like to use it with the skin on. You don't have to have the skin on, but make sure that you get pork belly that has lots of meat in it. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut the pork belly into pieces, 1 piece per tamal. And then we add the pork belly pieces into the containers. Then we put some gloves on because the marinade has annatto and we don't want our hands to turn orange. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour the marinade into the meat. And now we just make sure that every single piece is covered with the marinade. And then we just cover it with plastic wrap. Once our containers are covered, we're just going to put them in the fridge overnight. To make our tamales, we're going to need some banana leaves, and these I buy frozen from the Latin store. They come in a bag like this, and I just thaw them out in the refrigerator the night before. When you take out the leaves from the bag, you're going to see that they're folded in. We're just going to unfold them very carefully because they're fragile. And then we're going to start picking out the pieces that we need. If you see a piece that has holes in it or rips, go ahead and put it aside because you might need it later. We're going to cut the leaves into pieces that are about 20 inches long or 50 centimeters. We make sure that there are no holes or rips in every single leaf that we're going to cut. We take our template and then we cut. Once we have all the pieces that we need, we are going to clean both sides of the leaves with a wet cloth or a wet paper towel. We're going to do this very carefully because again, these leaves are pretty fragile. And to make our leaves softer and easier to bend, what we're going to do is we're going to put them on a hot burner set at medium-low for a few seconds, and we're going to do this on both sides. And now we're ready to make our guiso or our seasoned sauce. And to make it, we're going to add some olive oil to a large pan. We're going to add some onion, garlic, red bell pepper, a chicken bouillon, and our all-purpose seasoning. Then we season with some salt and pepper. And then we're going to cook this on medium-low for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to add some chopped tomato. We lower our heat to low and then we cook for about 10 minutes or until it thickens. If it's too dry, you can go ahead and add a little bit of water. And now our guiso is done. For the filling, we're also going to add some red potatoes that have been peeled and sliced into thick slices, just like this. And then we're going to soak them in water. We're going to add some salt to the water and some all-purpose seasoning if you want. This is optional. And then we just add the potatoes. We are also going to need some carrots that have been peeled and sliced, and we're going to put them in water that has been seasoned with salt. And now we're going to make our masa or our dough, and we're going to heat up some water in a large pot. We're now going to bring it to a boil. We're just going to heat it up. Then we're going to add a chicken bouillon, all-purpose seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder, and salt. Once our water is warm, we're going to add our pre-cooked cornmeal. And this is the same that we used to make the empanadas and the arepas. And we're going to add it slowly. And the consistency that we want is that of really thick oatmeal. If it's too dry, you can go ahead and add more water. Into this masa, we're going to add some frozen peas. You can also use raw peas. And we just stir. And now our masa is done. Now we're going to put our tamales together. And for that, we're going to use the banana leaf. And if you notice, it has some lines on one side and it's smooth on the other side. We are going to put our masa on the side that has lines in it. We're going to take a spoonful of the masa and we're going to spread it on the leaf. Then we're going to add about a tablespoon of our guiso and a sprig of Italian parsley. This is optional, but it gives it a really nice touch. Then we put our potatoes. And carrots. And then we add our meat. Here we have our pork steak, pork belly, and pork ribs. Now we're gonna wrap our tamal. We just grab both sides of the leaf and we close it up in the center. We tuck it in. And then we fold in the ends. And then we tie it up with butchered twine or kitchen string. We cross the string and then we flip it. And if you have a rip like that, don't worry about it because that's why we have extra banana leaves on the side. Just finish tying it up. Cut off the ends. And then rewrap the tamal with a brand new leaf. And if you need help wrapping these up, go ahead and grab an assistant. And it makes things a lot easier. Okay, let's make another tamal. Here we have 2 leaves because they were too small. We add our masa, our guiso, parsley, potatoes, carrots, and our meat. We fold it in. Grab the ends, and then we tie it up. And we're going to do this with every single tamal that we're going to make. To cook our tamales, we're going to need a large pot called a tamalera. We're going to fill it up with about 1/4 of the way with water, season it with salt, and bring it to a boil. Then we put our steam rack, and we're going to put our tamales on top of the rack because we don't want the tamales to touch the bottom of the pot, and we don't want water to go inside of the tamales because that's going to water them down and make them bland. If you don't have a steam rack, you can use the leftover leaves that you have and put them at the bottom of the pot. Then we're going to cover our pot and steam them on low heat for about 1 hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. And we're going to check the water level every 30 minutes. And after they're done, we're going to take them out very carefully and we're going to let them rest and cool down a little bit. And then you can serve them. When you serve them, you just unwrap the tamal. And there you have it. Our masa, our potato, our guiso, and our pork. And that's how you make Colombian tamales. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to check out the recipe, you can click where it says Colombian Tamales Recipe. And don't forget you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, and Instagram. Thanks everybody for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye, and buen provecho.